Now, how long has Pere Ubu been together?
Been together since 1975.
Okay, I understand you had a solo career for a while.
Yeah, I still have a sort of a solo career. Yeah, in '82, Pere Ubu stopped working for various reasons. The drummer and the guitar player hated each other, and we were pretty much tired and fatigued, and so we stopped. And then I started doing a number of things. The first thing I did was I wanted to know if I could just get on a stage and with just my voice and my mind entertain people. So I did these things that were just basically me and an accompanist, like on a saxophone, Ralph Carney or Lindsay Cooper or somebody like that. Sometimes a tape recorder, just singing and telling stories and things, extended pieces. That went all right, and then gradually I began to do a number of things. I don't know how much of a detailed answer you want on this, but it's too late now. I've started out very detailed, and we're going to have to continue. So, then I started adding instrumentation, and I went through this phase where I was tired of having for 10 years or something like that done music where the vocals had to fit into a very orderly structure, which is what music is, of course. Even improvised music is very rigid. And so I was tired of having to follow the band. I wanted to set something up to where the band would follow me, so I began to work with an arrangement that was an electric bassoon player and a drummer, and then on and on and on. And I would do various things, moving back towards rock music, I guess, basically. Restructuring the way I was doing things. A lot of this stuff was dealing with monologues and very vocalized pieces and quite entertaining. And gradually moved back to rock and formed a band to be a rock band, and the band that I formed to be a rock band looked like a duck and quacked like a duck and walked like a duck. It was Pere Ubu again. So.
Would you say that you became more commercial after you got back together?
No, the first album, Tenement Year, is anything but commercial. It's one of them terribly obscure in a lot of ways. What we did was that we did Tenement Year, which is really a totally uncompromising sort of record, and we realized that we were in danger of copying, imitating Pere Ubu. And we could do it. It was easy. Our general method is to layer things until it's just so dense and there's so much going on, and there's, if one kitchen sink is good, then it's better to throw in 3 or 4 and just to load the thing down with sound and image and because this to us was what music should be, the document of the human experience, and it should imitate the way humans feel. Nobody on the face of the planet has ever thought, my baby's left me, I feel so bad, because it's impossible to think that simply. It's more like, oh, my baby's left me, and oh, gee, this floor is awfully dirty. I guess I should go down and get something. Well, who's going to do the dishes? Wait a minute. The grocery store is closing in 10 minutes, and so, this is what human life is about. It's full of contradictions and weirdness. Not weirdness, but contradictions and all sorts of things. So, we would seek to create something like that. So anyway, we finished with Tenement Year, and we realized that, that if we wanted to, we could keep doing this in the same way, and, nobody would tell the difference, but we really were worried about getting into a rut. So we decided, well, we're going to start restructuring things and to create something that for instance, what we wanted to do was to do something that emphasized. First album, Cloudland, we wanted to do something that really made it very clear that we've always been a folk band and that we've always dealt with folk imagery. That in the beginning, we considered ourselves an urban the folk music of the urban pioneer movement. This is where most of the people in the band came out of in the early 70s. You know, the people that were, you know, instead of going to college or after going to college, lawyers and doctors and artists and writers and musicians who were moving back into the and repopulating the blown out inner cities and things, you know. And we would, in Cleveland, it was particularly blown out, and we'd go down there and we'd see this we'd be, you know, we knew that we were living at that what point do those Aztec and Mayan cities cease to be living cities and become ruins? You know, it's generally not some day where the light clicks off and everybody leaves. You know, it's a process. And we found ourselves in a historically fascinating period of time where we were witnessing the death of a city and moving to ruins, at which point the people that live there no longer understand the hopes and dreams and fears of the builders of the city, of the culture and the society that had the dreams that were, you know, were encased in stone. They no longer understood that language, and they would flee at the fall of night to the campfires in the suburbs, you know. And so, you know, and we would, you know, nobody wanted this thing, and we were young, and we said, oh, this is the unloved thing, and being young, you know, and all that stuff, you would covet the unloved thing as something desirable. And so, you know, we had sensations and feelings and that were beyond our ability to express in the usual forms that we had been taught, and we looked for something that would a sound, a style, something that would give us the language that we needed, and we did this. So this is a long-winded, roundabout way of saying what we wanted to do then. After Cloudland, which was our folk album, emphasizing where we were coming from a folk standpoint, we wanted to do this record, which absolutely stressed nothing but the emotional content and the poetry of the thing, the voice of the thing. And to do that, you back down the other stuff. The next record, I guarantee you, is not going to be in the same mold, because we've done this, we've emphasized the folk element, and we've emphasized the emotional element, and now we're ready to go to the next level. You know, Pere Ubu, you know, takes these things. Pere Ubu doesn't do conceptual records. We do a conceptual career. End of answer. What was the question?
I'm not even sure anymore.
Yeah, this is the problem with
take a break
asking me questions. Sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. I want to see if this is. As soon as I have to recharge this, so I just want to check to see.